ever since it debuted at the Toronto International Film Festival, Joker has been criticized by a lot of people. Not everyone. A lot of people are still firmly behind this movie and support it being released. But there is a large plurality of critics and, just people in media wondering, is the movie irresponsible because it just has too many parallels with real-life violence and could inspire people to do horrible things, right? The main character, Arthur Fleck, is a mentally ill Caucasian man who breaks or has a bad life and decides to hurt innocent people or just people en masse. Apparently, I haven't seen Joker, but I think that's kind of what the plot is. And that parallels with what's happening a lot in the world, especially in the United States, where, there are Caucasian men who break out and flip out and start hurting and causing mass shootings and things like that. And critics are saying it's just too close and the movie is socially irresponsible for doing this. But the director, Todd Phillips, is defending his movie, saying, the criticism is unfair. There are many other movies with violence, many of them perpetrated by white male characters. But, for the most part, nobody says anything. But when he does a movie with, a white male committing acts of violence, then all of a sudden it becomes a problem, and he doesn't believe that. He doesn't believe that criticism is fair. And I can see what he's saying. Rambo right now is out, although a lot of people really are coming out against Rambo. But, that's a very violent white male character. It doesn't really seem to be meeting the same level of criticism. John Wick, the Punisher TV show, which was a Marvel TV show on Netflix. The Punisher is a very, controversial character in my opinion. He's a white male character who takes, vigilante justice in his hands and just kills criminals without giving them a trial or anything. He just, slaughters them. But you know what? A lot of people are giving those shows a free pass and movies a free pass. So why aren't they giving Joker a free pass? Let's look at some of the quotes from what Todd Phillips said in a recent interview. The movie, Joker, still takes place in a fictional world. It can have real-world opinions, but it's a fictional character in a fictional world that's been around for 80 years. The one that bugs me more is the toxic white male thing when you go, oh, I just saw John Wick 3. He's a white male who kills 300 people and everybody's laughing and hooting and hollering. Why does this movie get held to different standards? It honestly doesn't make sense to me. He also referenced the 2012 Aurora, Colorado shooting, where there was a gentleman who was, I guess, he went to a screening of The Dark Knight Rises and opened fire on a lot of people. That was a mass shooting event by a white male several years ago. And some survivors and, relatives of survivors have come out recently to say that Joker takes them back to those horrible days. And they're bringing the whole issue up again about how Joker could be a socially irresponsible movie. And here's what Phillips has to say about that. I think that Aurora is obviously a horrible, horrible situation. But even that is not something you blame on the movie. A lot of people in the media, and I think I said this in my previous video on this issue, and I might have been incorrect, that the guy who committed that crime in 2012, he said he was inspired by the Joker character back then, when Heath Ledger and, was playing him and all that. But there are people saying that's technically not true, including Todd Phillips. Quite frankly, if you do your own research about Aurora, that gentleman wasn't even going in as the Joker. That was misreported. His hair was dyed red and he was having, obviously, a mental breakdown. There's something horrifying about that, but it wasn't related to it outside of the fact that it happened at a movie theater. This is not the thing that the movie is trying to represent. So what do you think? Do you agree with Phillips in his defense of the movie? Or do you think that it's still socially irresponsible for him or anyone to make a movie like The Joker today? Someone in the comments, I can't remember who, on my channel brought up the point that they feel that Americans are just too sensitive these days, right? That's what a lot of people who will defend Joker would say, right? They just can't handle anything and people just need to, quit being so sensitive about stuff. But what if somebody does commit a mass shooting event because of Joker? The media will blame this movie and, attack it left and right. It was the Joker's fault. But again, as I and Todd Phillips were saying, movies with extreme violence happen all the time. So is it unfair that Joker is being, pegged with being an irresponsible movie, but not any of those? Especially like I mentioned The Punisher, which is about, a white male character who goes out slaughtering, criminals left and right without even giving them a trial. in my opinion, that is equally quite as disturbing as the Joker, if not more. But what do you think? Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like it on YouTube and subscribe to the channel because I appreciate your viewership, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.